I've just been so busy. The taxes. It was pretty simple this year. I've been with everything that's been happening. My dog died, my daughter's surgeries, my father's death, all the family problems I was having. Then I was sick for 2 weeks. Busy all last week. Appointments almost every day. So I said, okay, I could do it on Monday. I went to go do it on Monday, and it turns out that it's not as simple as I thought. Because I thought it was just as simple as just putting in the W-2s, but it wasn't, because when we left the other job, they took 401k without our permission, so we got all that back. So because of that, we couldn't do it free. We had to upgrade to the next thing. And then I'm like, okay, all right, so it's cool. I'll upgrade. And it goes up to the health insurance. I'm telling you, this just one more reason I hate it. This Obamacare health insurance forced bull crap. It's just ridiculous. It is such a burden on the people. And me and my husband, we were like, yeah, we were insured. The whole reason why we hustled to get insured immediately was because we didn't want to get penalized. So, okay, we did that. But then, that whole issue with my husband having to leave the other job. And when you start a new job, you have to wait 3 months to get insured. I figured, okay, so, we're okay. Because it wasn't like, he dropped it. You get canceled from the previous, and then you have to start with the new. And with all the paperwork and all that, takes 3 months. I thought we were going to be okay. But it said that if you were, you have to be very specific. You were either insured the whole year or you weren't. Then you have to click partial, and partial, they want to know exactly how many months you were not insured. So it said there are exemptions. We were covered for the exemption. It was a cancellation policy because we left one job, went to another. So, okay, I clicked everything. Now here we are trying. It took me 2 days now because I have to do all of this information. And so I thought I was just going to do this on Monday, get it over with. And I know I don't owe any money, and you usually get back a little something, so I wasn't worried about it. But because of this health insurance thing, because we were not covered for 3 months, they even though I answered all the questions and we did qualify for an exemption, they still charged us. So I'm like, what? The government's already forcing, stuff on us here with this insurance. I'm not going to let them charge us. So I called the tax software I was using, and they said I had to call healthcare.gov. Healthcare.gov is supposed to issue me some sort of a certificate number, and with that certificate number, I'm exempt. Okay, so now I'm on hold for I don't know how many hours. We're going on the last day yesterday. And I was so glad I called, because I was going to just leave it for next week because I knew that I didn't owe money. Well, lo and behold, even though they owe you back, if you were not insured, it's considered owing them money, and they are going to penalize you and charge you interest. Because I spoke to the tax software, I spoke to the IRS, and then finally I spoke to healthcare.gov, and I said, okay, so how do I get this certificate number? You have to mail in an application, show proof that your certificate was canceled, and it takes a whole month, and you'll get a certificate by mail. So now I'm going to get penalized and charged interest for a whole month. And now he said that, when you lose your job, that it's considered an exemption and you wouldn't have to pay, but it takes 30 days to get that. And the IRS said, you better file for an extension. I'm like, why does this have to be so complicated? Because if you don't, you're going to get penalized. So not only do they take out, it's like, I don't know how they work it out, but for me it was $35. Plus you're going to get penalties. I mean, $35 if you just go ahead and file your taxes on the, deadline, which was yesterday midnight. Or you're going to get interest and penalties. So so they're just going to keep on, deducting for what they owe me. And I was, freaking out. I started having a nervous breakdown. I'm like, telling my husband, look, they said it's so simple to file for an extension. So simple for you to just go online and file for an extension. So simple. No, none of it was simple. It wasn't going through. It was giving me a hard time. It was asking me for 2013 information, which I really didn't understand what they were asking me for. I was going out of my mind trying to get this done. And so I'm telling my husband, look, maybe it's not worth it, forgive my obscenity, but let them screw us up the butt some more by keeping this money, because I can't do this. And so my husband's just listening to me, and I'm like, look, I need you to help me make these decisions, because I don't want to do anything wrong. I want this to be a together decision, so if something goes wrong, I can blame you. Again, like I said, my husband does make the major decisions. So he just, as I'm having a nervous breakdown, I'm going through all these different links and this and that and the other thing. And finally, I just skipped over the 2013 information and just finished filling it out. And finally, it went through. And we got approved for an extension. But it was like, this was nothing simple. They're telling me all of this takes a few seconds. And even getting the exemption approved, you could file all online, but you can't, it's not electronic. You have to print it out. Nothing was working. I don't know if everybody was using it, but nothing was working. And so, I have to do everything by hand now. Now I got to go to storage and find last year's information. I mean, it was just a hassle that took 3 days. So thank God for the extension. You get a 6-month extension. And I got through most of the paperwork yesterday. I found the paperwork I needed. I'm going to finish it off probably on Monday, because today and tomorrow I have appointments. So I'll probably finish it off on Monday and make all the copies and mail it out certified mail. Could you imagine what the post office was like yesterday? I was like having a nervous breakdown thinking, I have to take my son to school. I have to cook dinner. How am I going to do this? I've been hours on the phone. It's already late. Just the thought of standing online with my bad back and my arthritis on my hips, I was just having a nervous breakdown. So, thank God, as I'm having my nervous breakdown and yelling at my husband, what do I do? I'm still on the computer, trying yelling, and finally, thank God it went through, so I didn't have to do that. I was like so happy. So you get 6 months. So once I mail that out on Monday, it's supposed to be 30 days that you'll get some sort of exemption certificate or something, and then you can put that in your returns, and then just file it. But if you don't do that, if you don't do that, what happens is you can file, but you'll have to do an amends. And the IRS was saying, look, I can't tell you not to do an amends or to do an amends, but compared to a simple, asking for an extension to all the paperwork that you're going to have to do for an amends, I really advise you get this done. And it's so simple. Take you 5 seconds. Yeah, it took me 5 seconds to put the information in, but then it started asking me stuff that I couldn't answer, and I was having a hard time. But finally, I just started skipping some stuff, and it just went through, and they approved it. Thank God. So it'll get done within a month. If the extension, what they're telling me at the exemption office is true, it'll get done in a month, and you can just you file it with the exemption, and and you're cool. So that should get done in a month. But really, it's like really, first of all, that's not freedom. That's not freedom to be forced to pay for insurance. What the American people asked for was free insurance. Yes, you're going to tax us more, and I've said this 100 times, but you don't have to worry about copays, deductibles, premiums. You can go to the doctor, and you don't have to worry about, do I have enough for the surgery? Can I afford this? No. You go and you get it done. I would have preferred that, take on more taxes and that, than the mess that they're doing to us now. Because I'm not sure if it's $300 for us or $500 a month. Then you have your a ridiculously high deductible, and that's through your job. You get something like a $2,000 or more deductible. Plus you have the monthly payment, plus you have your copays, and plus until the deductible is covered, you have to pay for everything, and plus if it's something they don't cover, it's just a big headache. And so, that's been a burden, a huge financial burden. And now you're going to get penalized because you had to wait for your job. Because if they would have given us insurance instantly, hey, but they didn't. It says you have to be here 3 months. That's our policy. Plus, you have to do the paperwork. You have to give the paperwork time to go through. So that was very frustrating. So and now you're getting penalized for that, and plus you'll have to pay interest and penalties if you didn't file. Even though again we didn't owe them, but they were taking it out of our check, and they will continue to deduct from what they owe us, until it's filed. And that's horrible. That is horrible. It's like bad enough this country's become a dictatorship with this, and now they're hassling us on the taxes, which is so wrong. So horrible, 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 horrible. So, hopefully everything will get done on Monday, and then it's just a waiting game for that. And then, but it's a relief that you get 6 months. So, and by the way, if you don't get approved, though, they told me I will get approved because it was a cancellation type of thing and a new job type of thing. If you don't, again, you're paying the interest and the penalties. So, anyway, so yeah, but thank God, hopefully, God willing, everything will go smoothly. Okay, so I will see you next week. Mwah.